What's up, Math Scholars? It's Friday, and we're excited because it's the musical this weekend. Who's going to go see it?
Yep.
I'm going Saturday, and there's a lot of sporting events going on. Girls soccer final game tomorrow at Green, which is real close. Good luck. 12 o'clock. And then girls volleyball at 2. Good luck for them. I don't think there's any volleyball players in here. And then cross country state meet got moved a week, which is crazy. I've never heard of such a thing. So good luck to them next week. All right, let's set up our long division. X to the fourth, positive 2x to the third, positive 5x squared, positive 8x, negative 10. And then our divisor, x squared minus 5x plus 2. All right, I'll give you a second to get it all set up. I'm going to move it up a little bit. I feel like I was wasting some valuable space down there. It's decision time, everyone. And do you know who you make your decisions from? From the x to the fourth being divided by the x squared. And sometimes, I'll put it here so the people in the video can see, sometimes off to the side where I have some scrap paper room, I like to write it vertically because then I can really get a handle on what's actually going on. This is one of those bigger minus smaller, put your answer where the bigger lived. But I think I heard someone say it, it's x squared. Everybody agree with our first decision? All right, we'll get rid of that then. X squared, and that will go right here if you want everything to line up very nicely. That's the first term in your quotient. All right, at this time, sometimes I draw a rainbow, sometimes I don't, it depends, but you want to do x squared times x squared and get x to the fourth. You want to do x squared times negative 5x and get negative 5x to the third. And you want to do x squared times positive 2 and get positive 2x squared. We're about to subtract down that whole group. All right, so you just got to be very careful when you're doing that subtracting. X to the fourth minus x to the fourth obviously is gone, but what's a 2 minus a negative 5? When you subtract a negative, it's just like adding a positive. Casey? 7. Very good. And if you ever are unsure, just type it in. And then 5 minus 2. That one's easy. I like the easy ones. It's 3. 5 minus 2 equals 3. We're going to drop down that 8x, and now we're ready for our second decision. We're still good? Our second decision comes from taking our 7x to the third, dividing by x squared. So let's show people in the video how I write that vertically. 7x to the third over x squared. What would that be? 7x to the first. Bigger minus smaller, put your answer where the bigger lives. That's our next decision. 7x to the first, or just 7x. All right, let's do our distributing again with our rainbow. 7x times x squared is 7x cubed. 7x times a negative 5x, careful there, negative 35x squared. I actually messed that up first period. It threw everything off there on out, and nobody caught the mistake. So at the end, that was a bummer. All right, and then 7x times 2, 14x. Still doing good? We're about to subtract down that whole entire group. You want to be very careful if you're subtracting. 7 minus 7 is gone, no problem. But what is a 3 minus a negative 35? It's like 3 plus 35. 38. Good. And then 8 minus 14. Careful there. 8 minus 14. Negative 6x. We're going to drop our negative 10. And it's time for our final decision. Let's go back to green. We've got a 38x squared divided by an x squared. So 38x squared divided by an x squared. What would that give us? 38. Just a 38. No x's. Okay. Just the 38. And I was talking to some people before school, and they mentioned once you have an x squared term, you're never going to have one again. And once you have an x term, you're never going to have one again. So you know that's just going to be a constant term. It's just going to be a 38, no variables. All right, distribute time. 38 times x squared is 38x squared. 38 times negative 5. Might want a calculator for that. Do you get it, Casey?
Oh, you're right.
Oh, never mind. negative 190x. That's big. At that point, some people panic. I must be doing this wrong, but we're actually still on track. And 38 times 2, last rainbow. 76. Subtract down the whole group, and we'll be done. The 38 minus 38 is gone. What's a negative 6 minus a negative 190? It's like adding 190. 184, because it's a negative 6, and then you add a 190. Use your calculator if you're unsure. And then a negative 10 minus 76. Use your calculator if you're unsure. Negative 86. That's your remainder. And then this stuff up here, of course, is my quotient. Sorry, I have a billion little rainbows in the way there. Hey people, in the video I got some board buddies working, but we need to make sure we're using synthetic and not long division. Some of my board buddies tried doing long division on this. What's going to go in our little box? Hello, sir. Talk right here. What's going to go in your little box?
A negative 2.
Very good, a negative 2. Hello, math scholars on the internet. So my board buddies came up. They got a 0 as a remainder. So they're like, oh, cool, we got a 0. That just means that x plus 2 is a factor, but we don't need to factor any further. We're just going to say that 1x squared plus 7x plus 35 is our quotient, 0 is our remainder, and we're going to move along because it's not factorable, and we certainly don't want to use the quadratic formula. They don't mention anything about solving. So, all right. Let's get up some more board buddies on number 15. Hey fun people online, I've got my board buddies up here. They're all starting with making their P and Q list. So P is 1, 2, 4, 5, 10, and 20. It's coming from the 20. Our Q list is just 1. It's coming from this leading coefficient. It's a pretty short P over Q list. Positive negative 1, positive negative 2, positive negative 4, positive negative 5, positive negative 10, plus or minus 20. Now we're going to head to the graphing calculator and get the graph sketched out. Alright, hello video friends. We went ahead and sketched our graph and we looked in table world, and there was only one answer we could find in table world, and that's negative 4. So we're going to use that to kickstart our solving process. You drop your 1, you multiply, add straight down, multiply, add straight down, multiply, add straight down. So that confirms negative 4 is one of our solutions. Here we get left at a mysterious place. And we're like x squared minus 5. Can we factor that? No. If you couldn't factor it, you have to use a quadratic formula, right? Wrong. You actually can solve this without the quadratic formula. Now this group here, they did use the quadratic formula and they did get the answer, but I'm going to show you a quick and easier way. Since there's not an a value and a b value and a c value, all you really have to do is set it equal to 0 and solve it using algebra 1 techniques. So let's pretend y'all are freshmen and you're in algebra 1. How would you solve for x in this case? Plus 5 on both sides, and then square root both sides. So you might not have thought of that method, but that's a heck of a lot quicker than using the quadratic formula. And you know that you could actually use your calculator to check that those are indeed the zeros? You could do second trace 0 and just check that this is at like 2.23, which is the square root of 5. And then this one's at negative 2.23, which is the negative square root of 5. That's just a good way you can use that 0 button in the calculator. Cool. Ready? Wait, talk right here.
Well, for number 16, the largest degree is just going to be how many solutions you have. So in this case, it's to the 8th degree, and that's the third one. Make sure that it's in the right order. So there are 8 solutions. Okay, then for number 17, that is a polynomial. Because there are no irrational number degrees, any negative degrees. Yeah. It's the second degree because x squared, and it is a quadratic because that's just another
Alright, the class just asked for a recap of all the different types. So if it's degree 0, it's called constant. If it's degree 1, it's called linear. Degree 2 is called quadratic, that's what we went with there. Degree 3 is cubic, and degree 4 is quartic. And go.
Well, don't we just like put -1 where X is?
Talk really loud right into here.
Alright. So first, we're gonna write out the equation with -1 where X should be.
And we're going to utilize parentheses.
And we're gonna utilize parentheses. Then you gotta multiply, right? And then you type it all into the calculator. And you get -2, -8.
We should have Kathleen do that.
Hello, people on the video. Let's count our possible positive solutions. We're going to count sign changes. So when we go from negative to positive, there's 1. Back to negative, there's 2. Then we're negative. Then we're positive, that's 3. And then we go negative, so it's 4. Now don't forget to put 4 or 2 or 0. So you're always allowed to subtract off 2 from all your answers. 4 or 2 or 0. Now for our negatives, we need to use our brain power. We're going to put a negative in everywhere we see an X, and then we're going to have to simplify it. It's going to take a little bit of thinking. So you mainly just have to think about how the coefficient will affect the variable and when the exponent with the variable will affect it. So like I start right here, and I think, how will a negative to the 5th power behave? Will it be a negative or positive? A negative. And if this pink circle is a negative and this 2 is a negative, together they will form a positive. Okay, moving on. See this little pink circle right here? Would that be a positive or a negative? It's going to be a positive because it's to an even exponent. What about this little pink circle right here? That's going to have a negative value because it's to an odd exponent, but it's going to partner with this -3, so it'll turn positive as well. What about this pink circle? It'll be positive because it's to the 2nd power. A positive with a negative is negative. And then these two together will be negative. And then my 5 is negative. So let's recount our sign changes now that we're simplifying. Positive, positive, positive. Negative, negative, negative. How many changes do you guys see? Only 1. Yep, only 1. And then a lot of people forget about the imaginary. You find the degree. It's a degree of 5. And you just list out all the even numbers that are equal to or smaller than 5. This is 4 or 2 or 0. Alright, this one's not bad. You just went into your graphing calculator, put it in under y equals, then hit table, filled out the table super quick. It ends up looking like some sort of negative snake, I believe.
Yeah,
wait. It's okay. So I'm just going off the drawing that I'm seeing on my left and my right. They're all not the best, but it is a negative snake. That's all that really matters to be able to answer this question. As x approaches infinity, the y values go down towards the ground. So this is a negative infinity. And as x approaches negative infinity, the y values get bigger. So this is a positive infinity. All right, we decided we're going to do this one together just because there's so many left bounds and right bounds and all that jazz. Go ahead and get the equation put in under y equals. It's x squared minus 1 and x squared minus 5. We're on number 21 if you're wondering where we're at. Right off the bat, when you hit graph, you can see what we're dealing with. We've got 4 x-intercepts, and we've got 2 local minimums and 1 local maximum. So I'll just do like one of each with you guys on the video here and leave you to find the rest on your own. I'll give you the answers to everything. So let's do second trace. It takes you to the calculate menu. We're going to select choice 2 because that'll help us find a 0, an x-intercept. Now if I'm going to find this furthest to the left solution right here, what would a good left bound be? -3. What would a good right bound be? I actually use -2 just to kind of squeeze it in because they're close together. These two are close together. When you hit enter, you'll get it. It's -2.24. -2.24. So I'm going to go ahead and just give you the rest of those answers. You can just experiment with your left bounds and your right bounds until you get them. You're kind of lucky that they are they're reflection images of each other. So once you have two of them, you can kind of reflect them to check things. Let's find the local max together, though. For maximums, you got to do second trace and hit number 4. If I try to find this maximum, this little baby mount piece, what would a good left bound be? -1 works for me. What about a good right bound? +1 works for me. Click enter. Now what you're seeing here for the x value is very, very strange. 2.27 times 10 to the -6. It's just basically a 0. So just write down 0, 5. That is your local maximum point. And then we have 2 local minimums. So we'll just do one together and you can do the other one on your own later. Second, count 3 for minimum. We're trying to find this leftmost minimum where I'm pointing. What's a good left bound? -5, sure. -3, doesn't matter. Let's go -3. And then what about right bound? -1, sure, or 0. One more. Enter for guess. -1.73, comma, -4. -1.73, comma, -4. And you can find the other one on your own. It is just the mirror image. It ends up being 1.73, -4. And you can just do a rough sketch with your given information. Here's the zeros. My drawings are always terrible, especially with this board, but kind of goes like this and makes a W. And this actually should have gone up to 5. This W should have gone up to 5. There we go. So. Hey people on the video, the board buddies are up here working, but we're going to help you out a little bit. You need 3 binomials, an x minus 4, x plus 2i, and an x minus 2i. All right, my boys to my left are just standing here awkwardly staring at their math problem. Where do you think you should start, boys?
We should start forming 2i.
Yeah, these last 2. So they're going to help me. I'm going to ask them questions. They're going to talk into the microphone to answer my questions. What is x squared, or what is x times x?
X squared.
And then what is 2i times -2i?
-4i squared.
And then, whoop, whoop, whoop. What is that alarm, boys?
Because I squared is a -1.
So what do we got to do?
Make it a +4.
Very good. And now we still have to do our foiling. So what is this times this?
X cubed.
What is this times this?
4x.
What is this times this?
-4x squared.
And what is this times this?
-16.
Are we in standard form? Because our answer is supposed to be in standard form. What we got to do?
You have to make the x squared before the regular x.
Good. Thank you for your help with video.
I
I got some new helpers up here to help answer some of my questions. They are starting us off telling us that x minus 10 is one of the factors, which is nice, because there's going to be 3 factors, all right? They start us off by giving us that x minus 10 factor, so we know x equals 10 is the first solution. Yes! So I just had my little helper out here tell me we're going to use synthetic division with a 10 right here. So little helper, can you help me set this up? What would be here?
1.
Let's talk right here.
Oh.
Next?
-79.
Nope.
Oh wait, no, 0, yeah.
Why is there a 0 right there?
Because there's no x squared.
And then what's
And
next?
then -79.
And what's last?
And then -210.
Okay, help me out. What goes down right here?
1,
What goes right here?
10,
What goes right here?
10,
What goes right here?
20.
100 actually.
Oh.
10 times 10.
I mean, yeah.
And now we add straight down. I'll do that for you in case you can't do it. 21. And then what's going to go right here?
+210.
All right. So because I got a 0 here, what does that mean to me mathematically?
Yeah, that's right.
Do you know? When you get a 0 here, what's it mean?
That -10 is the solution?
It means that positive 10 is the
positive
solution. So it is all, it's been confirmed. Now these 3 we're going to rewrite as a polynomial. What would it look like?
X squared +10. X +21.
Now cross your fingers. This is factorable. Is it factorable?
Yes.
What numbers will multiply to give us 21 and add them to give us 10?
Don't do
X,
that.
7 and 3. 7 and 3.
Plus 7? plus 3. So what my group just helped me find was that x plus 7 and x plus 3 are our final two factors. What are our final two solutions?
-7 and -3.
Very good. Thank you for being a helper. All right, please listen up for some very, very important instructions. Thank you for watching the video today. We did finish out this study guide. Over the weekend, we are giving you a practice test in Polaris. Yes, you could use your notes. Yes, you could use your homeworks. Maybe you could even get together with your friends over pizza and do it together. I don't care. But you have up to 3. You have up to 3 attempts to get as high a grade as you want. It will be a process grade. So any questions about that? It's officially due Monday at midnight, but I'd like you to do it over the weekend. So if you have questions on it, you can ask me those questions Monday. Great. Not done with my announcements yet. So the test officially is Tuesday and Wednesday. So if you'd like to attend a study party, there's hundreds of options for you. Before school Monday, after school Monday, before school Tuesday, after school Tuesday, and before school Wednesday. I don't need to see you at all, like 5 of those options, but maybe 1 or 2 of those options. Okay. So have a nice weekend. Thank you.